Hello everyone, I'm Jaci-Velasquez and today I'll be talking about autism, specifically autism in children. Autism has been a big part of my life. My little sister was diagnosed with autism around the age of 1. There are many other children in the U.S. that have the same disability as she does. In fact, 1 in 59 children in the U.S. have been diagnosed with some sort of autism, according to the CDC. But autism isn't defined by a set of characteristics or a set of guidelines. It's more defined by a spectrum. And that spectrum has 3 main points. On that spectrum, my sister falls on the severe end of the autistic spectrum. But she doesn't let her autism define her. She's full of love, life, laughter, and energy, and so much personality. And she will be the first one to be sassy to you when she gets the chance. Believe me, I know. I feel like it is my responsibility to just spread autism awareness. So today we'll be talking about what is autism, what is the spectrum, and what it's like to live with an autistic child. So, what is autism? According to the NIH, autism is a neurological and developmental disorder that can affect behavior and last throughout your entire life. Oftentimes it is coped with many issues with communication, learning, as well as interacting in social settings. When it comes to communication, someone can be nonverbal or verbal, according to Heather Gilmore in Levels of Autism. When someone is nonverbal, it is oftentimes difficult for them to communicate their needs and wants in the moment. Some autistic children also have trouble communicating their emotions, and their emotions can become displaced. The next thing is going to be social interactions. Now, most people on the spectrum have problems with social interactions because they don't pick up on social cues in social settings. So sometimes it is hard for them to develop certain relationships and friendships. The next thing is learning. Now, not everyone on the spectrum has trouble with learning because, again, it is a spectrum and everyone on that spectrum is different. But some people have to take it at a slower pace than others, and that's okay. So, what is the spectrum I'm talking about? The spectrum of autism includes 3 different points, or 3 different levels. The first level is high-functioning autism. It's a form of autism where you really don't need help in your daily life and you're able to do things on your own, but you struggle in social settings as well as with repetitive behavior. Usually people with high-functioning autism don't have a big disability when it comes to learning. Level 2 autism, however, they do begin to struggle with learning. Now, in level 2, autistic children can be verbal or nonverbal. It just depends on where they fall on the spectrum. When you have level 2 autism, you have to have help to be able to do things like everyday tasks. Now, they do not struggle as much as people on level 3 autism, but they do struggle with these things, and they struggle with repetitive behavior as well. Level 3 autism, or severe autism, is a form of autism where you need help in most of your daily activities and most of your daily life. Oftentimes, people with severe autism are nonverbal, so it's very hard for them to be able to communicate. My little sister has severe autism, and a lot of times it's hard for her to communicate to us on what she wants or needs, but she has found her own way as she's developed over time. People with severe autism also have trouble learning, so they have to learn at a slower pace than most other autistic children. So what is it like to live with someone that has severe autism? Living with someone that has autism at times can be scary, and sometimes it can be full of fun and joy. But one important thing you have to remember is you have to learn what their likes and dislikes are, or what their triggers are and aren't. So when it comes to autistic children, a lot of the times they can be triggered. For instance, my little sister gets triggered when she doesn't get what she wants, and she plays this game that we call Sitting Bull. This is where she sits down and she refuses to move for could be hours, could be minutes, just depending on her mood. For instance, one time she sat in Walmart for 2 hours and would not move. No matter what we did, she would not move. And then a worker finally came up to her and got her to get out of the store because they were closed. So just learn what makes that autistic child tick. Learn what they like. Learn what comforts them. For instance, my little sister is comforted by her coloring books as well as her backpacks and the sound of my stepfather's voice. Those things comfort her and can calm her down when she has her fits, or her outbursts, as we like to call them. Now, remember when you're dealing with these outbursts that the child is as frustrated as you are. So just take a deep breath and take every day, day by day. It'll make it a lot easier on you as well as the autistic child. Now, people that are autistic can have hypersensitivity, according to Autism Speaks. Hypersensitivity is when you're around a lot of noises or lights and you kind of get sensory overload. For instance, my little sister, when she is overwhelmed, if there's a lot of people in the room, it just increases her distress. She likes it when there's not a lot of people and it's people she knows because that calms her down. All the people and all the voices and all the different sounds really agitate her and make her feel flustered. So in those moments, just to remember to try to connect with that autistic person if you know them to calm them down. Because like I said, they're just as frustrated as you are. Now, living with an autistic child is not always bad because my little sister is so funny. She is hilarious. She loves to make jokes. She loves to pull jokes on us. For instance, me and my little sister play this game where we go back and forth where she says, "You're rude," and I say, "No, you're rude." And we just keep going back and forth with that. It's just a fun little game we play. Autistic children are a lot like some other children. They still love to do things. They still love to laugh. They might not always understand everything, but you have to be understanding with them. In conclusion, autism is a neurological and developmental disorder that can last and occur throughout the life. Autism is seen on a spectrum. That spectrum has 3 levels. Level 1 autism is high-functioning autism. Level 2 is mild autism. And level 3 is your severe autism. Now, these 3 levels, again, are not main pinpoints because an autistic child can be between any of these. Like I said, it's a spectrum. So the next time you see an autistic child, make sure that you just try to understand them. Learn what they like, learn what they dislike, learn their triggers. This will help you as well as the autistic child. Autism does not make someone. Their disability does not make them. They are their own person. Thank you.